What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Triangle. It's your boy D.
And I'm going to try to make up for the tiger twin. This is CJ. Maybe not. She'll be like, I cannot be replaced. I really do. Listen, you guys. Uh-oh, D disappeared. You guys, D, come back. Oh, no.
You hear me?
Kind of. I don't know what happened. But anyways, sorry. What I was saying is, Brandi's not here today. She has some.
There we go.
Sorry
about that, y'all.
Personal stuff to do. She'll be back next week, though. Hopefully, everything will be super duper. Nothing crazy. It's just personal shit that she had to take care of and whatever. We'll make fun of her for it later, I guess. Yes. But anyway, so today, or this episode is going to be the last one for May. So I kind of suggested that we talk about something related to Japan because we both spent time in Okinawa, Japan. You know, like I know this is Asian Heritage Month, but we also want to keep
more than spend time. You were like, that's where you're born, right?
Yeah, I was born and raised. I'm from there. I didn't spend time there. I'm definitely from there. I was born and raised there. I actually didn't leave Okinawa until like, what was it, 3.5 months before my birthday of turning 21.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which was really shitty because you have to be 21 to drink here. And I had already been drinking in Okinawa, so 2.5 months.
Since we were 12? So.
Yeah, so for 3.5 months, I couldn't go to a bar to drink. I did find a little friend who would like slide me drinks at the bar, so. But that's how I survived my 2.5 months. Like, it's just, I was just like, what is this? What am I doing here? I had a serious culture shock. Like.
I had a serious culture shock coming back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I tried to hold on to that shit as much as possible. As you see, I'm eating a whole piece of fucking fried fish.
Listen, was yours just from the Asian market? I'm over here with my pakita. We just munching away.
Munching away. And if I seem a little off today, it's because I had a mishap earlier with some brownies. I didn't know what kind of brownies there were. And my cousin encouraged me to try. And they were special, and I didn't know. And I ate 2 before I found out. Those are my fat ass gets.
He said he sent me a text message saying that he had ate 2 of these within a 30-minute span. So and that it was inconsiderate that his aunt didn't label them.
Yeah, you're supposed to label those. You don't just drop those off and like, oh yeah.
That inconsiderate part had me dying.
Yeah, that's rude. Fucking rude. What if I had something to do today?
So terrible. Anywho, so I thought maybe we dedicate it to somewhere where we lived before so we can like talk about it. So we're not just like assuming that's how it is in that area. You know what I mean? Because we know, because we were there. I know for sure because I was born of it, of the island. So, but so the first part was Dee was mentioning the whole like emasculating of Japanese men, well, Asian men in general, but Japanese men as well. I think
especially in American society, it's not as
say it.
Yeah, it's not as prevalent that you see an Asian man in a position of power, being macho in any type of situation. It's always a very basic, or not necessarily saying that it's always a weak character, but it's not necessarily somebody to the forefront. And that's with the exception of like your martial arts movies, like with Jackie Chan's and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But outside of that, just in regular culture, you really don't see that. You will see it with Black, you will see it with white, Hispanic, not so much Asian.
I think there was just like a lot of weird shit that was going on during the war and stuff. And that was part of their like little agenda too, right?
It was.
It was.
So from what I remember reading about, I know especially on the West Coast when a lot of the migrant workers were coming in from China, they didn't want them to have any sort of relations with the women of America. So I guess that's where that came from. Let's demasculate them so nobody will.
Right.
It'll just be less attractive for you.
And so they always like kind of painted them as like physically small and weak too. And then when not manly, as well as in that note, like smaller genitals as well, and that that is not an attractive thing for the women here. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So they kind of played that.
They want that ding dong, that big dang-a-lang.
You better stop checking your mouth like that. I don't know.
Plus they want them dang-a-lang.
I'm done. No, for real though. And and then there's so much, because the culture was like starting to roll off that way. So now there's also that whole like thing, even in like watching manga, anime, or like hentai, where like a lot of the characters are made to be like these pervy, weird people as well. I mean, but also, is it because they painted him like that so long that they just kind of became that culturally?
Well, no, not necessarily.
But no, it's because that's what happened to the Black society, is that we got painted as victims within ourselves because of how we got treated back in the day. Like, it's a little weird. Like, I just wish that like they, and when I say they, you know who I mean. Like, I don't know why they have to like feel like they have to overtake every group of masculine like people. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Why would it be such a problem for somebody else to be seen as masculine?
I don't know. It's weird, right?
Especially when it comes to Asia. I just always thought that was weird.
Like,
and I didn't really even with my own faults, me moving over to Japan and then finally seeing all different variations. Because, especially if you live in certain pockets in the United States, you might not see too many Asian people.
Yeah.
And
depending on where you're at.
Yeah, depending on where you're at. And I had seen some, but, not as much as I did when I moved to Japan, of course, because I went to Asia. You know what I mean? And I was able to encounter people that, it was just like being here. You had your jocks, you had your muscle dudes, you had your...
There's just as many.
Had your nerds. There's just as many groups there as it was here. So I don't understand why all those groups can't be represented the same here in the States. I always thought that was weird.
I don't know. It's also like because they painted him as weaker men. Like, there's even like a joke about Asian men's voices, like within the culture. And we talk about how when Asian men have that deep voice, because for whatever reason, a lot of people who come across Asian men with deeper voices, like bass in their sound, like in their voice, they think is an odd feature on an Asian man.
But that's literally every fucking Asian man when you live in Asia has a super
that's the weird part. Like, but that's what I mean. That's the weird part, is that they do have a lot of men with like bass in their voice.
Yeah.
And it's I think deeper than most other countries to be. I feel like there's higher pitched caucasity than there are any other group of people.
Right.
Maybe that's the answer right there. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that there's a possibility. I mean, it's even with the whole genitals thing, that they're smaller or whatever. Like, okay,
maybe. I don't understand why people were so obsessed over that. Like, are you wanting to bang an Asian dude that bad?
Maybe that's what it was.
Fixated over his genitalia. That shit is crazy.
It is a lot of like weirdness when it comes to like, because it's not outright like when we talked about Black men and their emasculating stuff, because they were literally like in dresses on TV. I guess like they do that in Japan, but I feel like it holds a different meaning because Japan's always had that cultural thing with the people in theater. Men were the only ones allowed, so they dressed as women, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah, that was common in Europe at one point too.
Yeah,
like back in like the middle ages and stuff.
Exactly.
Like women weren't allowed to act. And the women weren't allowed to do shit but have babies and clean up and shit. So.
Oh my God, dude, do you know when I found out that there's such a thing as yellow face as well in Hollywood? I was like,
oh yeah. My first memory of seeing that was I watched Tea House of the August Moon. It's based in Okinawa.
Yes.
Like the storyline is based in Okinawa. And Marlon Brando played an Okinawan dude.
Yeah, they played that shit on AFM back in the day because there was no censoring, guys. I've seen so much brown and blackface and yellowface on AFN in the middle of the night where they play those black and white movies for our parents.
Yeah.
So much Hollywood. Oh, but that yellow, it's so crazy because all the pictures that pulled up when I did it was like a lot of like Hollywood stars, like old timey, some even alive right now, doing this number where they take their fingers and like stretch their eyes and like. And let's just talk about the accent they decided to use in Hollywood for Asian people when they were acting with yellow faces on. What?
I call that the trans-Pacific accent. You know how they have the transatlantic accent for all the
Yes.
actresses back in the day?
I hate you. But, like, come on. You know, like, I don't know. It's just so much wrong in that whole industry that I can't even begin. We're going to have to do a whole episode just on that, like 4 different times.
I remember watching that Tea House of the August Moon at school, which was crazy as fuck.
Yeah, we probably did. If it was on AFN, it was like approved to be family appropriate. So
we watched that. I want to say social studies or some shit like that.
Probably.
I was like, what the fuck?
And just fucked up. They don't think about that stuff. That's how comfortable people were back then. Like, but I don't know. And then, you know, it didn't help that that persona kind of grew on the people there too, because then they started writing like the mangas and making the animes and hentais that kind of fit those descriptions all over the place. And now there's like fucking porn with like American people coming to Japan or wherever with the schoolgirls and the Japanese women and things like that now. So I think
because I guess that caricature gets ingrained in the culture and people start using that caricature to
and you know, it didn't help. And there's a whole genre of people like the otaku where they fit that genre like perfectly. I know I've said this before, but you guys who love anime, cosplay, all those guys, I know like the context is like you think it's understood, but no, it's not understood. If you guys are otakus, for the most part, like people are not okay with it in Japan. It just seems that way because they always use that otaku character in anime and manga and movies and shit like that. But it's a weird thing. I wish they would stop doing it. It's not okay. But you know what I mean? And so because of that, like what were you telling me earlier? Like, because if you go to Japan, there are millions of vending machines. And no, not just like fucking drinks.
Candies and sodas and shit.
They still have cigarette fucking vending machines over there.
Beer vending machines. I know when I was there,
they have beer and just sake. They have both in vending machines. There's like porn that you can buy. Basically, you can buy whatever you want.
I used to buy edible panties out of vending machines and eat them like fruit roll-ups. They were delicious. Shut
up! I hate you so much. I thought this was going to be a juicy fucking story.
No, you remember what Corinza was?
Yes.
So at the top, they had all those vending machines, and we would go in there, and they had edible panties. And we'd go there after school, and then we would eat them, walk home, and eat them like fruit roll-ups. The shit was funny.
Sir.
Good.
That's so good.
Passion fruit was my favorite.
Okay, so but speaking of panties, because Dee was telling me before we started recording today, let's talk about your anonymous friend who used to sell her underwear.
She used to sell her drawers, yeah.
For this vending thing. Go ahead, tell the story, sir.
Creepy dude. So there was an alley that she used to go to, her and her homegirls after school. And there would be dudes in fucking trench coats standing in these alleys, but they would only be wearing a trench coat, nothing else underneath.
Nothing else.
So they would sell their drawers for however much money. I forgot the exact amount, but it was a lot.
Did you say like 2,000 or 3,000 yen? So it was like $20-$30 a panty or some shit.
No, I think it was more.
I
think it was more. Yeah, like closer to that. And they would all do that, all the girls.
Crazy.
Like a group of girls would just go back there. It would be some creeps, multiple creeps. That's the crazy part. Multiple creeps waiting on them to come. They would pay them for their draws, and then they would want to expose themselves to these girls before they left. That was like a part of the deal.
Gross.
Yeah, so she said she asked one of the guys, she was like, I just have to know. She's like, what do you do with these underwear? And he said that he wets them a little bit and puts them in the microwave so they can be warm. I said, what the fuck kind of shit is that?
He's re-moisturizing the fucking dried on situation. I can't even.
So he could, whatever the fuck,
so gross.
Suck that shit out of fucking cotton. That's some nasty shit.
Mm-mm.
If he had enough guys to wet the shit and put it in the microwave, I know he's sucking the juices out of that. I know he is.
That's true.
I know he is.
That's true. Ew.
He's doing it.
When he told me the story, he said he put it in the microwave after wetting it a little bit. I was so grossed out. God.
Could you imagine being over there or being near his house and you hear the microwave go off? You're like, oh, another pair.
Nigga, no. That's just so gross. And you can actually go to these vending machines, like, in the streets and buy used panties. Like, you don't even have to put on a trench coat.
Yeah, if you didn't find some not seeing the girl, they had them right there for you. Yeah. In the vending machines. Fucking crazy.
And it's so funny. I seen one where they bought some on the streets and they open it up and you get like a package of cookies and shit with it. So
nice. Because that's something to eat after you get done busting.
That's how you can wrap it up for the. That's so gross.
Sick shit.
I've never heard of that, and I've been there forever. I'm gonna ask my friends like if they heard anything like that before.
You ever say panties in the back alley? Yeah, she really told me that shit.
Like, you know what else has always like been cool to me? Like, is the crazy ass love motels they have there.
We used to throw parties in those.
Yes, so in Japan, they have these motels. They're lovemaking motels. That's what it's used for. Nothing else, basically. Typically. So two people go in and do it, and then come back.
There's no registration area. You put the money in the door, and the door opens.
Well, you know so much, D.
We used to throw parties in there all the time.
Gotcha. But yeah, so they don't even see your face when you pay for this place. They just make sure you put the money in the little slider thing. I've actually rented one to do some drag makeup for a friend because they couldn't do it. They weren't out yet, so they couldn't do it at home. So we rented a motel out to do it.
For 3,000 yen.
Yup, we got it done. Went in as a guy and a girl and came out as girls. I'm sure their camera people was confused. What just happened? I better watch the news tonight, make sure nothing is up. Just, but those themed rooms were like crazy. Like, you would think it was like some weird villa room that you were in. If you
one had a wine glass.
I was just gonna talk about that one.
Yeah, the wine glass one. That was crazy.
Or like the one that was like jungle themed, and they had like stuffed animals hanging from the ceiling with like a green room painted on like branches and shit. I think there was one somewhere that I heard about that had a fountain in the middle of the fucking lobby. Like
a fountain.
A fountain. It was like one of the nicer ones, I guess. But I was like, this is crazy. Like, there's weird stuff going on over there, and I feel like it's more open though. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, weirdness is definitely welcome over there when it comes to shit like that.
Yeah, because like over here, you can't. There's no like that love motel area down there.
Yeah,
there's not. There's no such thing.
There would be lines of Karens circling that place, trying to shut it down. Meanwhile, her husband is in there curling somebody's toes. That's what's going on.
God, that sounds
you already know that wouldn't. Yeah,
that sounds like the Westboro Baptist Church would be out there. For real, they'd be like, take your devil motels back to where you came from. That's what they would say.
That's exactly what they would say.
So fucking terrible. But for real, like, I feel like that contributes to a lot of the like the male like demasculating in Asia and Japan too. Like, even in Okinawa, like the thing they say is that the female like runs the household or whatever. I'm paraphrasing from Okinawan to English, and that the guys are a lot lazier, so they're always sleeping everywhere. He's laughing because sometimes it's true. Like,
Okinawan men will sleep anywhere. They will sleep anywhere. I remember like the construction guys.
Yeah,
would, be near my house. They would be all in the back of the truck, underneath the truck,
on the trees.
So
every time, because living in San Antonio and Texas in general, every time there's construction guys that are just laying in the sun. Also, they're also short and brown, so our brown brothers, our Mexican brothers, when they're out there, it kind of reminds me of home. It's weird. It's so weird. They will go get some green tea and put some ocha and some okashi down on the tray and just be like, here you go. Hi, dozo. Like, I'm just saying, because, you know, because that's what they do over there. When there's people working on your houses, like construction people or just grass cutters or whatever, like the people who own the house always like serves drinks and like snacks or food.
They would knock on the door to ask for shit.
Yeah, they would.
Like water. I was like,
yes.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's the culture. And then over here, it's like non-existent. So my mom still does it. So our grass cutter is a Mexican dude, right? Real cool dude. He like helps her do extra shit without like charging her. But also my mom is Okinawan, so anytime he cuts the grass, like during the summer he would bring his kid too and stuff. She would like make sure there's like cold soda in the fridge to give out and like a couple to go. And then I'm like, what are you doing, Mom? That's not like the culture here. She's like, but it's so hot. Like, they have so many places to go. I'm like, yes, I know, but that's not the culture here. It's so weird. Like, really she still does it. She still does it. Whenever there's like appliances she don't want, she'll be like, you want to take this? If you want to take it, I give to you first. Like, that's what she does. I'm serious. Like, so it's weird. Nobody understands that though here.
Yeah. Definitely not a thing here. But yeah, they used to knock on the door all the time and ask for stuff.
Yeah. I mean, my grandmother, when she was having her house redone, she would like give them like lunch as well, like the morning snack, lunch, and then evening snack, and then evening tea before they left.
Damn.
Yeah, they got more breaks than working for retail overseas. I was like, what is this? How come they get all these snacks? Where are my snacks, Grandma?
Where are my snacks, Grandma?
She don't care. She's like, my house is being built by these guys.
Right.
It's so weird. Like, I guess it's just a cultural thing. Like, I don't think there's anything like that over here, is there? When people are like working, nothing. Working on your house. Nothing. I don't know.
Not that I've ever heard of. I mean, I'm sure there are some people that do it just to be cool.
Yeah.
But it's not really a thing.
I do it.
Here is more like tipping, because over there you don't tip.
That's true. Good point.
Tips. Yeah.
Because they don't tip in Japan. That's another thing. Okay, so you guys, it was so weird to me because I know you're not supposed to tip in Japan, but when you come to America, it is the custom, because the servers aren't making, what is it, like $2.14 an hour or something, and they survive off of tips. So, unless they are terrible, like, it's nice to tip them whatever, like, wages you seem to agree with too. But, like, I don't know. My dad would not tip very well because I think he spent too much time in Oki.
Okay.
So it was very embarrassing for me because I couldn't add money because that would be so rude to do to my dad, But like, I don't, and he would be like, they get paid. Or like, no, they don't get paid, Dad. Like, that's why you tip them.
Why is that? Why is that a thing here in the States? Like,
I think they just had to hold on to that servitude shit. That's their last little shit right there.
Their last little thing. That's crazy.
The little last straw right there, holding on.
Yeah.
Because after that, the person who makes the most money are people in jail. They make like $2 an hour. So waiters and waitresses are making 14 cents more than that. Think about it. They're just the outside prisoners.
That shit is crazy.
They just have better luck because they can make tips depending on how they act. Oh my God, we should make that a movie. Jesus.
Well, I don't see how companies can get away with paying somebody $2. Like, that's ridiculous.
I don't know the actual statute behind all of that. Like, I'm cloudy on it, so I can't really say. But
because I know here, that's not really a thing here in Vegas.
What do you mean?
At all?
Like, tipping?
No, tipping is definitely a thing.
Oh, okay.
Our servers here make money. Like, I know our bartenders, because when I bartended in San Antonio, they didn't pay me anything.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I think
I didn't make I made $0. I just got only tips. I'm like, what the fuck? Here, bartenders start out at like 16 something an hour.
I think it's because of the capacity in general. Like, not only is it a city that has money because it's always moving money, you know what I'm saying, but also because I think you have to have people who are willing to put up with the bullshit that comes through. Like, you fucking talk about it a lot.
Yeah,
like if there's bullshit. You know, Vegas has a cultural mixture, so I'm sure cultures clash or there's culture shock or whatever. So you have to be willing to put up with something that happens that was out of your control. Like that one guy you were saying that got upset because you handed his money on the tray instead of handing it to him.
Oh yeah.
Because it was to make sure that nobody was offended, but he was offended that you didn't hand it to him. Yeah. At the end of that, just proves you can't make everybody happy. But you just can't. You just can't. But you know what I mean? So, and it's like the truck stops. Like back in the days where we were working, we were making more bank than most people in retail at that position. You know what I mean? Because we were basically like assistant managers to the GM. So in retail, like I don't know, with just as much customer service stress, I think if you're in management for retail, they weren't making near enough.
Nowhere near enough. I think I was making what, 9?
Yeah. Well, and then, well, that's the thing though. But when you were making 9, the cashiers were making $7.25.
That's crazy.
Right. And then like it was just a lot going on. So like I feel like, I don't know. I guess they shouldn't complain about it too much. No. That's all. Man, I don't know. I just want to go back to Japan for a little bit. You can't go nowhere with this fucking pandemic.
Can't go nowhere.
Can't fly. Can't. I mean, you can. I guess they're resuming a few flights as well. But I mean, do you want to risk it? What was you saying? Like you're gonna give it a couple more weeks too again?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a couple more weeks to get my hair cut. Because I'm gonna just wait and see how many people drop dead.
Oh,
and then I'll make up my mind at that point. Like if nobody is
it's back on the rise again. So I don't even know what to do with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let it marinate a little bit before I go get my hair cut.
Like I'm gonna say this again. I know you'll hear me say it on the news angle if you watch us, but if your fucking local tiny business owned nail salons and beauty shops and stuff are open right now, just remember, if you can't find Lysol at your local Costco, Walmart, or wherever you live, they probably can't either, because a lot of the smaller businesses just have a business credit card and they end up going to Costco to just get a few bottles at a time. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't find it, they can't find it. So unless they are miraculously producing this stuff somewhere or thinking that homemade ones are okay to use, I don't think it's legal to use homemade ones if you have a business. So, you know,
probably not. Yeah.
I highly doubt it, unless maybe it was like, straight alcohol or something convenient that you can get and it's listed as that. But you shouldn't be going nowhere near them scissors or fucking nail clippers or anything. It's crazy. I wonder how many people are going to end up sick from going to these like spas and salons and stuff.
Like, I don't know. We'll see. But I can imagine how many people had gotten sick before the lockdown.
I'm sure.
Just by going to those type of places,
Yeah, and I'm sure. But to me, when I see pictures of like the beauty salons with like plastic curtains, plastic everything in front of you and in front of the person who works there, feels like it's not safe to be out.
No.
Am I tripping? If it doesn't look safe, it probably isn't safe. Like, if people in retail are still that scared, I feel like there's people around them that are being affected by it. Because now there's a lot of retail people who are dropping out. And do you know how many hiring places there are in retail right now? So many.
Yeah, retail is, I know a lot of people here that I was working with in the hotel industry that have moved on to retail because they just need the cash.
That's who's hiring right now. Yeah. And I feel like, I'm like, I know you had to start cleaning the store more and doing all that stuff, but the fact that most stores and companies cut their hours, if they're hiring people after cutting the hours, that means there are people missing on the forefront and they need to replace them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like, you got to think about that shit. So I'm with you, D. I'm going to stay at home as much as I can.
Yeah.
I can't even like put away like groceries without cleaning them like 100% now. Just fuck it. Fuck it. Just, it's worth it, I feel like. I know some people are probably like crazy, oh, you can't get it from food. Yeah, I mean, it's still on there. There's a reason why that fucking grocery store up north had to take $35,000 hit and clean out their grocery racks and get new shit in.
What happened up there?
Because that lady, remember, coughed all over the grocery stuff, the products.
Oh, yeah.
You can't clean fucking produce like that. Mm-hmm. So they had to fucking take the whole area out after like checking the camera to see where she like coughed on. It's weird. You know what's weird? And since we're talking about Japan, some stories like that have arisen now, where they're talking about people threatening to cough on each other.
Okay, all right. Nah, both y'all need y'all asses whooped. Oh, making cough threats at people. Both y'all
they're
need
making
y'all asses
whooped. They're getting arrested because right now, because of the pandemic, it's actually a threat if you do shit like that. So they are getting taken if they can be identified. But
good,
like,
fucking weirdos.
People are so crazy. Like, I was just like, are you serious? And you know what? Because like Japan like had that weird second surge a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, people got scared and went back inside. But I don't think that's going to happen here.
Oh, no, nobody's going to get scared and do anything because it's America. They don't give a fuck.
Not it's America.
That was like open.
Oh, my God.
The motherfuckers in Florida was tearing that beach up. That shit is crazy.
Listen. I mean, Florida, yes, it was all the water places that opened, but Florida especially was like, could not wait. Oh,
no.
And there is
they weren't having that shit.
There is no social distancing shit happening anywhere on that fucking beach. Not nowhere. Like, unless you have a tent.
No, not at all.
Physically barricading you into something, you're not even close. And you can't do that in 110-degree weather. But, like, people were not at all. And then just partying. Like, I get it. You were fucking tired.
Even here, when I drove to Arizona last week, and I went over by the lake, by Lake Mead, the Arizona-Nevada border, the lake was full of boats. It was boats like everywhere. Nope. Everybody's on boats. There was
you would have thought it was spring break.
Wakeboarding. Yeah, it looked like spring break. Legit. The shit was crazy. People fucking everywhere.
I mean, just me alone going to the grocery store, because I started going like early to avoid all the people who come out, in the afternoon and on. But it's been like, Rob has been an essential worker, so he's been working. So what he said to me was that it's a lot more people now everywhere, but before they reopened all of the stuff, people were still going out because he would go to work and it would be super fast getting to work at 6 a.m., right? But coming home, there would be traffic. Yeah. Which means all the people who weren't at an essential job has still been going out, if not more than usual. Yeah. Like, because there was traffic at like 4:30 in the afternoon. That means people who are not working were out, right? Like,
out and about, kicking it. I'm telling you, here in Las Vegas, I thought, me and my friends thought it would just be a cool idea to ride our bikes down the strip.
No, sir.
There were thousands of people that had the same fucking idea that we had.
I don't understand.
Thousands of people were. Yeah. Thousands of locals. They looked like. Imagine how you're used to seeing how busy the strip is normally with pedestrians.
Yes.
Now put all those people on bikes, and that's what the fuck it looked like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was
bikes everywhere.
I can't. That was our alarm. Let's take a quick break.
All right.
He said thousands.
Thousands. And welcome back.
Hey.
I'm still high, by the way.
I don't think you're coming down anytime soon.
It's gradually getting better.
Well, your eyes are starting to open than the first episode.
They're starting to open. Isn't that crazy? They're closed.
Like, your whole face is smiling now. So it wasn't like partial areas. So if you really want to go look at his first one, because we're dropping that episode on Monday next week instead of like this week, He's high. Like,
and if you're just now tuning in, it's not by choice. I was tricked.
You were not tricked.
Eating some brownies. Well, I was just being a fat ass and ate some brownies that weren't labeled, so it wasn't my fault.
It was just inconsiderate.
It was inconsiderate to not label bud brownies.
Oh my god. So we were talking about some things about Japan, especially because we lived there. Well, that's my home as well. And comparing it to some of the stuff over here, and also the whole demasculating, like, Asian men in general, not just Japanese men. But I kind of want to go trek back to Japan. Let's talk about these public baths, because here's my thing. I've never been to one, and I don't plan on going to any.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just weird. Like, I can't get past, my science mind can't get past being in the same water as somebody else is bath water. I guess we do that in the pool, but it doesn't have chlorine in the fucking bath water.
There's no chlorine in there when you go to the baths?
No. I don't think
it's just so. Hot water?
It's just hot water running. Like,
Shit, I've never been to one either.
The onsens don't have chlorine in it. It's just mineral water cycling through. I mean, I understand the cycling through, so the water is continuously flowing, but it's also continuous flowing with whatever was left behind, and that'll be gone, but the next part of what was left behind is still there, and it's just, you know what I mean? It's not like the ocean, but I guess, is it comparable to the ocean? But the ocean
is too damn big.
It's so vast, and the salty content of it, I feel like, does away with some of the stuff, the bacteria.
And then there's like natural bacteria and shit that are in the
consumes
ocean
all of that. And I feel like there's a larger portion of it, I guess. You know, so
yeah.
I don't know. And also, here's the thing. I also know that it would not work here, like, at all.
We have some here in Vegas. Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but it's like, they call it a Korean day spa.
Is it really high end though?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I've just heard of people saying that they've been.
Oh, I want to look at it.
I heard it gets, I'm not sure if this is what you're going to say. You were going to say why it would not work here, but I heard really creepy shit be going down sometimes. Like, you have to make sure you keep an eye out because people are kind of creepy.
Well, that part too. But no, I just thought of all the dirtiness.
Oh, okay.
Remember a few months back, like, Taylor Swift had started this tweet, the whole thing about white folks not washing below their knees because the soap water runs down?
She said that?
Something in that nature, or somebody or if she posed a question about white people, like, if people wash below their knees or their legs or some shit like that. It was like,
it's a part of your fucking body, bitch. You better make sure. You better believe I'm washing that shit.
I mean, I'm just saying, that's what I mean. Like,
you not wash your ass because it's behind you? Like, what the
fuck? I'm still confused about how people who don't use wash rags here get clean all the way, because most places don't have that arm shower that comes down. Because in Japan, that's a thing. And when I moved here, I realized that it's not
a thing here.
And I was like, what? How am I supposed to wash?
My own.
I got my own, because I was like, I can't wash my whole body without the shower head moving. Like, how do you get clean? Look at D shaking his head. Like, I'm fucking bothered when I have to go to hotels, because I had to bring, like, I bring my own body cloth, by the way, and washcloth, because the washcloths are what you wash your body with, right?
Yeah.
Including genitalia and whatever else you decide to wash that day. I just have a thing about sharing, especially that portion of the towel, with somebody I don't know. Thousands of people I don't know. I'm sure the
especially the way that they do the linens here in Vegas.
I was just gonna ask, because you live it. Like, is it really as sanitary as they say it is? Well, I feel like it's not.
So we don't do laundry on property. So the way it works here, it's been years, probably decades, since the hotels actually took care of their own laundry.
Oh, so they outsource that shit.
There's major companies. I know when I worked for Caesars Entertainment, they had their own company that was like
did that
washing plant. that would come pick up truckloads of linens every day, and they would pick them up and drop them off.
I mean,
in these big hampers.
Here's the thing.
That are like 7 feet tall. Crazy.
Oh, damn. I realize that they must sanitize it enough that all these people are using it and people are not getting sick from it. So
yeah,
it's not that I don't think it's just sanitary. It's just the image of all the towel going through so many people's asses just freaks me out. Yeah. Like, it's not like using the towels at home with your family. I can't. Like, it's one thing for the face towel. I don't know. I mean, some people might argue that it's the same thing, but just image-wise, the body towel is just... I can't. Because, like, it goes back to why they don't have... Whenever I get to hotels and they have that fucking hose thing that comes down, I am, like, elated. Or even at least the one that goes up and down super low. You know what I'm talking about? The one with the bar extension thing and it moves all the way.
And you can move it.
I get excited. But the other ones that just one... How? And black girls can't wash their hair in that?
I hate the ones that have the mist.
Oh, what that mist supposed to do?
Bathe in mist. I need some water flow. You know what I'm saying?
I need water pressure.
Pressure, yeah.
This hair, you need pressure to get through to the scalp. Just pressure. And when you have curviness and chunkiness to you, you need water pressure to get to the crevices.
Get all up in them creases.
Just not everybody's a fucking washboard. Like, I'm not even girls who are smaller who have big boobs. They need, like, lift them up, and I need water down here. Like, that's how you get sour smells if you don't take care of shit like that. Yeah, I saw a meme the other day. Where the dude was like, this face he was making when somebody's like lightly smells sour when they walk by. Like, that light sour smell is the worst.
That is the worst.
Just like,
it's like, I know you smell that shit. I know you smell it. If I can smell it, I know you smell it.
You know what I'm enjoying? These fucking people who are posting statuses on my Facebook thing, and one of them was like, dear roommate. Like, I guess her roommate's not on there. She was like, dear roommate, just because we're in quarantine doesn't mean you don't have to shower. Like,
there are some people like that. If they don't have nowhere to go, they're not about to wash their ass. That shit is crazy to me.
Maybe a day. I get
One
it.
day, okay.
I get it. Sometimes. Once in a blue moon, maybe.
A very close friend of mine does not bathe regularly.
Like, there's other people who do it for the religious or cultural reasons.
To where her father said something to her. He was like, you really need to start washing your ass. Yeah. Funny.
I'm sorry. That caused me to have silent laugh. I'm so sorry. We did not cut out. I just couldn't stomach that right now.
Well, with this particular individual, there's never been an issue as far as odors. I've never smelled nothing crazy. But the fact that you'll admit that you're like, no, sometimes I go 4-5 days and I wash my ass. I'm like, what?
I mean, to each his own. I mean, there are people some people actually do better with every other day baths because of the oil content of their skin to protect them.
Possibly, yeah. Every other day I could understand.
And a lot less for little children as well while they're growing. Like, that helps with immunity too. I know people don't realize that, but it actually does without them going out into the world all the time. But I don't know. Oh, that's another thing. Weird Japan thing. Like, everybody's always been wearing masks. I kind of want to talk about it because of the pandemic,
always.
But it's unweird to us. Like, because they've been doing it the whole time. It's so weird to me, though, that there's agendas and, like, pages dedicated to not wearing a mask because it lowers your immune system. Like, that's not scientifically sound. It takes years for your immunity to be fucked up so bad that it affects you. Like, unless it's extreme conditions. And not like, going out for a couple of weeks every single day and wearing a mask for a few months is not going to change that.
I think people just don't like being told what to do.
Yeah, that part. So all you have to do is go.
Excuse.
If you go out to your backyard, the park, the grocery store, you get enough bacteria to keep you going immunity wise, with or without the mask. But
yeah, that's just
people
just not wanting to
people
follow
don't want
instructions.
To. It's very interesting that there's a lot more backlash in the U.S. than any other country about that. In Japan, there isn't as much.
Because we're already kind of a part of the culture anyway. If there's sickness or if you feel you're sick, cover it up to protect other people. I was under the assumption that's why people would wear the mask in Japan.
Yeah, because there was no like pushback against wearing masks in Japan at all, really. It was actually more like a lot of social media places and main media showing people how to make masks, like emergency ones. And then they started, once people started creating patterns and shit, they started talking about that. But like, it's never been an issue. Isn't that weird though? Because it's the same.
It's because Americans don't like being told what to do.
You gotta get out of that.
Not want to comply.
I feel like that's like a serious Napoleon complex that the U.S. has. I don't know why. We will not
comply with anything. We will not conform to anything. Why are we still using fucking feet and inches and shit? The whole world uses the metric system, and that fucked me up when I went to Japan. I was like, "Wait, what? It's 22 degrees outside."
You know what? That fucked me up when I started school. It took
me a solid year to get that down packed.
Sir, that fucked me up a whole year. You hear me? When I started doing the metric, and I was like, nobody measures in centimeters here. So while everybody else in school struggled with the metric system, I was doing great. And while everybody else was doing great with the American system, I was so lost. I was like, 1/8 of an inch? Like, what? What do you mean it equals? What do you mean? Like, wait, 1 pound is 16 ounces. Why does it need to?
16 though.
Why is it 16? 16.
Why 16?
And why do the inches? Right? The inches too is 1/16. And I don't know if it's the reminiscent of the European whatever. Isn't it 16 pounds is 1 stone, right?
I think 14. Is it 14?
Is it 14? It's something like that. I feel like it's
something
reminiscent
weird
of that.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense that it's fucking 16 ounces in a fucking pound. I don't. What? And then they're like, half a cup is 4 ounces. I'm like, you know what? I'm done here. I'm
done. Done. I don't understand. Like, because even now, like, if you tell me how many centimeters something is, I have a hard time visualizing it. Even though I lived in Japan that long,
I'm the opposite.
I'm still fucked up.
I'm the opposite. If you tell me 10 centimeters, I can, in my head. 10 inches, I'm like, it's about a foot. So kind of like this, I'll be way off. I'm like this. I mean, obviously a foot's like that, but if you were to give me like a longer, like, like why?
It's like that would mess me up with temperatures too. So if you get me in weather range, I'm usually really good.
Right.
When it comes to like Celsius, I'm good when it comes to
me too.
I'm used to watching the news and I got used to that quicker.
28 degrees.
Right.
It's gonna be nice and warm today.
Nice and warm today. I know here in Vegas here in the summertime, it's like 44 is like our high. Like that's when it's
the Celsius, right?
Yeah, 44 Celsius. So when you get past like Vegas, I get lost. Up until shit starts to boil, then I catch on again. Then after that, lost.
It's so weird. It has always been so weird to me to go backwards. So like the Fahrenheit thing didn't stick to me for a while either. Because I'm like, wait, I was like, listen, in Celsius, at 0 Celsius, everything fucking freezes. At 0, makes sense. Right. How you gonna tell me it's 32 in fucking Fahrenheit?
32. That's an odd.
32 is freezing point.
So what does 0 represent though in that one? Nothing.
I don't nothing. Because anything below 32 is fucking frozen. I don't fucking understand. So in math, when you learn something is negative, which also means frozen, which is always under the number 0, -1, -2, and on. What is 32 positive degrees? What the fuck? Why the fuck are we frozen here? I guess I better go get learned because it doesn't make sense to me. You know how hard that shit is?
What to do.
Or
we
just
will not break.
US just want to be different. Time zones. Let's talk about time zones, my nigga. For what? Why 4?
Okay, and then you have the fucking daylight savings, but certain states don't do it.
Yes.
So depending on what time of year, they're in a different time zone.
It's crazy. Okay, and then if you're listening or watching, don't get me wrong. I know where it came from. It's from back in the day where people relied on natural light to farm or work or whatever. So they had that adjustment. Why do we still need it? It makes no sense.
Know.
We have electronic fucking lights, electric lights. You know, solar power, that where the solar fucking power is like tanked and you can still use it at night.
Yeah.
Like, we have all this fucking energy that we can create, but you, for what? Why for? You just fucking up everybody's month twice a year. Just twice a year, everybody's late or too early.
Like, you're always pissed off.
Always pissed off. The late one is the worst.
Yeah.
When you have to go back in the spring. Ugh. Good Lord. Listen. Oh my God. Do you know, speaking of which, this year it's on Halloween?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of creepy shit lining up. Like, what else is going on Halloween?
It's the second moon of the month, so it's a blue moon.
Blue moon.
And it's also a Saturday night, which means if the bars are open then, you get to do 1 a.m. twice. Because it's fallback. They give the bars an hour extra. Because it always changes at 1 a.m. So it'll be at 1 a.m. twice. Like,
nice.
Halloween,
well,
yay.
See, you guys have that problem there in Texas. Here we're open at 24 hours.
Oh, that's true. Well, Vegas is different. Vegas feels like home to me because I'm like, shit, I can get off at 3 a.m. and go get a beer. Like in Okie.
Yeah, go get a beer. At a neighborhood bar. That's the funny part.
That's another thing. Like, in Japan, it's just like Vegas. Your alcohol consumption purchase is 24/7. As long as the bar owner or wherever is open and serving, then you can get it. Like, I remember going to like Area 51, RIP. Like, that bar had to close. So sad. That was like part of Okinawan history for like us. But anyway, like, I remember going there at like, I don't know, midnight, 1 o'clock, getting there at midnight 01, and then drinking till like 11 a.m. and coming out. It's literally like Vegas. Coming out and thinking, what the fuck? Like, people are like doing construction. There's a shit ton of people on the road. It was crazy. Like, I kind of miss that though. Like, because when I first moved to Nebraska, their cutoff time was midnight. Like, at the bar. Midnight at the bar, and like purchasing and everything was midnight. They changed it right before I moved. They changed it because people would go next door to like Iowa or whatever and go buy alcohol and bring it back around the border, because if you were close enough, there's 2 hours still, right, till their fucking stuff is closed. So if you can get to the border in 15 minutes and buy, because there was like a whole bunch of alcohol places right there because they're smart.
Right.
You go there and buy the alcohol and come back to the Nebraska side.
I know people do that here in Arizona.
Do they?
To get weed, they come to Nevada. Yeah.
Oh.
Or depending on where you are, sometimes they go to California, whichever one.
So is it like completely legal in Nevada? Like.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you consume it in your home, and you can only have up to 1 ounce.
Oh, okay.
Like, if you have anything over an ounce, you can run it into the
sell
to distribute. Yeah, and then you can get in trouble for that. But as long as you have below an ounce or below, you're cool.
Like, you know what's weird?
You can't do it at like hotels or anything like that because
it has to be your own.
Do it in your own home.
Personal property.
Right.
That's cool. Like, in Japan, it's weird. Like, there's a lot of celebrities getting caught up in weed scandals in Japan because it's super illegal still.
Crazy though.
It's crazy, right? Everybody else around the world is legalizing it, and Japan has like made it even harder. And it's really weird. It's all musicians usually getting arrested. And a lot of the ones who
on their tours and coming out here,
it's a lot of the ones that go to the US and like Canada and all those places a lot.
Yep.
It cracks me up sometimes. I was like, oh no, you fucked up your career for that. In Japan, it's a serious thing.
And if you're a citizen of a certain country and you go to another country and they find out that you took place, that you took part,
it's illegal
in some illegal activity that's still illegal in your country but legal in the one you're in, you can still get in trouble.
Yeah. So, like, the only place that wasn't like that for a while was Amsterdam. That's why people used to go there. But then they got tired of outsiders fucking it up for them. Because you know how rowdy, like, let's take Americans, for example, when they did that study with the children who were like middle schoolers and high schoolers. And in Europe, they gave them the real beer with the real alcohol in it. And in the US, they gave them like fucking old duels with no alcohol in it. And you know who got rowdy and stupid? The non-alcoholic beverage drinking American kids here. Like, and it's like a learned behavior. And I feel like Amsterdam was the same thing. I think foreigners from other parts of the globe came, destroyed like streets, and probably like the fact that it was, you know, legal to do there, took advantage of it and just made it sour for everybody. I'm just, you know, I'm assuming for the whole government to be like, because that's a lucrative money market. Why would you want to shut it down like that to foreigners? Most people wouldn't, unless it was like fucking terrible.
Terrible, or people getting in trouble in their home countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah. When they got back and they still has some or something.
Yeah, or if there's footage of you, if they're able to see footage of you, like say if you're, because I heard it was happening with like the K-pop stars a lot too. So they would come here to California to record or whatever, partake in the cannabis.
Oh, yeah.
If there was any footage that made it back, they could be prosecuted.
Oh, yeah. That's the same in, I think, Japan, too. Because if they can find it.
It's like just because you did it in California and it was legal there, you're not an American citizen living in California. So
it's so weird. I can't wait till they just legalize it everywhere. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Just got to be legal. We'll wait. People would be so much more calmer and chill.
Way more calm. I think the only place in Asia where weed is legal is North Korea, which is crazy as fuck.
It's to keep people under control, duh. Like, it works. It works. What if that's like the fucking whole thing? That's why they're legalizing it here.
Possibly.
Keep people quiet.
Creepy. Didn't stop me from eating my fucking Brandi today.
Your eyes are getting better there. They're opening up more and more.
They are getting better. I can articulate better too.
That's a good.
Because I got stuck earlier. I was like, whoa.
That shit was funny. He was trying to tell me a story and he kept stopping at the same place and couldn't get past that conversation. And I was like, oh no, he's high as fuck. But,
all because that damn Brandi. Label your brownies, people.
Oh no.
You know your fucking brownies.
You know what I think would be one of those odd things in Japan that would do well here for the otaku guys here? The maid cafes.
The what?
Maid cafe.
Maid cafe.
Yeah, where they're dressed like almost like an anime character maid, and they serve right. Because is it like it's like a Hooters for the guys who are into anime and the girls who are into anime.
That would do well here.
Right.
That would definitely do well here.
Oh my gosh, I have to look into that. I don't know how hard it would be to get it legalized. I think I could open one in fucking Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Probably. And that would do well.
That's getting while it getting good because it's a lot of shit shutting down from this corona shit.
Hey, I feel like maybe if you were in the works of getting or growing a business and you have the capital to do it, now is the time to fucking strike.
Now's the time.
Strike.
Yep.
I'm just saying, because like, when I heard like almost 100,000 businesses has closed in New York alone, just New York alone, like that's fucking crazy as fuck to me. Just
crazy.
I don't know. There was something else. I can't remember what it was. We talked about almost everything that was on my list to talk about. Did you have other weird shit that there is in Japan that people here think is weird? You know what gets me is like
there's
food.
A shit section in the fucking porno store.
Oh. That's not what I meant, but yes. So, well, we should talk about that. Why there is like some seriously weird, odd fetishes coming out of that sector there. Like, even starting with hentai, I don't know.
When I saw the poop, they have a poop section.
I mean, they have one in the U.S. too, though. There's like a whole kink for that area. Like,
yeah, but like it's not as advertised. I guess you could say it's not marketed the same.
I guess not.
In
yeah,
in
Japan
they're look at the shit.
They are definitely more open about that portion of people. Like even listening to celebrities talk about the dates they go on where they're like seriously older men in their 60s and 70s are openly talking about taking 18-year-olds to dinner and 19-year-olds to dinner and whatever. You know, they're always like, oh no, they're just company. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, she making her paper.
She making her paper, and there ain't nothing wrong with that, boo boo. You go do what you got to do. But I'm just saying that it's that weird cultural thing.
Yeah. What's it called? That place? The kebab. That's what it is.
Just it's you know, it's kind of gross. It's kind of gross, but I
really
think
fucking gross.
There's a lot of other stuff too, though.
I'm talking about the shit.
You made me lose my train of thought. You're like just the shit. I can't.
Sorry.
They do though. They do. They really
everywhere.
do. No, did you accidentally like stumble upon an open page or something? Is that why? Like.
No, I went into a store one time when I was in high school. Me and a couple of my friends went into one of the porn shops being stupid, and we were like, "Whoa!" We got kicked out because I was like, "Oh my god, there's shit! Come here, look at the shit!" And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Loads of fun.
I cannot. Like, it's a little weird out there.
That's that street on Four Corners. So it's like Gate 2 Street, and then there's that first major intersection.
That Koza Street? Yeah.
This Koza Street?
I think so, yeah. That Four Corner.
So it was on, yeah. So it was on Koza going toward like Camp Courtney.
Okay, yeah.
And there was a porn shop like on the left side.
Uh-huh. Is that where it was?
Yeah, that's the one we got kicked out of. Yeah. I was like, oh, shit over here. They were like, get the fuck out.
Sorry, that's fucking terrible. No, before we started.
No, you get the fuck out of here. Shit on your fucking DVD cases over here.
Oh my god, excuse me. Before we were talking about the shit stuff, I was saying, like, it's the weird stuff in Japan. A lot of people hate or don't like or think the food smells weird before it's prepared. It's like when I take some of my non-POC friends to like the market stores here, and they're like, "Oh, what's that smell?" And you're like, "Food."
Everything is raw.
Yeah, everything's raw, and they don't have it too frozen. And there's fucking catfish and lobsters and shit swimming in the tank. They're like still alive.
Yeah, alive.
Like, they're about to chop that motherfucker.
Fresh as fuck.
Fresh as fuck. They're about to chop it up in front of you. Like, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
Take home live lobsters and shit, you know? But I think it's interesting. I had one of my friends, lady, make this sour face and was like, oh, what is that? And it was like our Ika snack that we had brought to the hotel. I was like, oh, I can't, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God, get the fuck out of here.
The dried Ika?
Love that shit. Especially if I'm drinking. So good. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really good with beer. It's the best with beer.
And if you have some hot mayo, oh shit, wasabi mayo, done. Like, just done and done. But it was just, you know, I don't know. What did she say? She said it smelled like period blood. That's what she said. Girl, I said you're...
Oh, classy.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Love
but
it.
I just...
Smells like as somebody's eating it, you say it smells like...
And then we laughed and we all reached for some more. Shit. But we just kept going, you sure you don't want some? You sure you don't want some? Just guess what ethnicity she was.
I really fuck with?
What?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
I had a hard time getting jiggy with uni.
Oh, uni's a very acquired taste. I remember going to sushi with one of my friend's moms who is part Okinawan as well. And she was like, I'm going to treat you to sushi, eat whatever. And of course, my young ass was like, oh, I want one uni, right? Because it's a little expensive for my budget at the time. So I was like, I'm going to eat on her dime real quick. She was like, oh, you ate that stuff? I was like, yes, I do. Have you ever had a uni don where they just put rice, the sauce, and just uni on top of the whole thing? Uni is sea urchin, by the way, you guys. Just the whole, I love
sea urchin.
I love some sea urchin.
Fucking people out there sea eggs.
Oh, yeah. It's so good. And then like the salmon eggs, the ikura, where people are like, oh, it's popping in my mouth. I'm like, yeah, that's the best part. No, not menteco, the ikura. It's the salmon eggs.
The bigger ones.
The bigger ones. Not the small,
Yeah.
tiny ones, but the bigger ones that actually pop in your mouth. It's my favorite thing. I love the uni and the ikura. It's so good.
The ikura doesn't bother me as bad as uni. Uni fucks me
The
up.
uni is like, I'm not even mad if you're Asian and don't like uni, because it is like a very strong. Another one is the mackerel sushi. It's real strong. The saba.
Oh yeah, strong.
It's got a very fishy taste, but I love that shit. Like, it's really good. I'm the bitch that eats the eyeball out of the fish soup. Like, it's just.
Do you tripping? I don't even eat it on my fried fish.
What? That has the best. It has all the like the DHA or whatever of the fish just concentrated in the eyeball, and if you eat that, it's like,
I don't like that.
Thousands of percents of the DHA.
It's a strong ass taste.
It's so good for you.
Yeah.
You eat. It's good for you.
I like that shit.
It's good for you. Do you have anything?
I like the cheeks.
Have you? Oh, the cheeks are good. Have you like ever made or given like one of your non-Asian or non-Pacific Islander friends like this food from Asia, and they were like, ugh, like this is not it, like?
Yeah, the one, like, what do you mean? Like they didn't like the way I prepared it, or they just
didn't like it? Yeah, what it was, and they didn't. Because sometimes I get people who won't even, or just even like bought, or you went out to eat and they were like, like I've had people like not even
most
try
of the ones
it.
Here that are from here.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, because I've had people who are like, tofu. I'm like, tofu is not gross. Like,
I don't see how that's gross.
It's like, literally
some might throw some people off.
Yeah, but there's different textures for that, and I'm just like, it takes on the flavor of whatever you put it in. Yeah. Like, I don't understand how it could be gross if there's nothing to it. Like, either you don't know what spices are and herbs are, or seasoning is. You just gave yourself away. And my worst one is when they were like, oh, but I put that in my salad and it was gross. Like, tofu doesn't go in salad. First of all, I don't know why they market that bitch as a health food. It is not a health food.
Oh, yeah, they market it like a meat substitute. I'm like, no, you eat that with meat.
Like it's it's weird to me. And then they were out here talking about tofu will make you like more feminine because of the estrogen blah 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 balance. Well, like, you telling me like that happened to my brother? Have you seen my brother? He's not lacking any testosterone, I don't think. He's like at the gym like every fucking day. I don't know what he's doing in there, but he's in there. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. It's not true. Like,
yeah, I don't really run into that much with my Asian friends unless they were like from here, like extra Americanized. But even then, it's rare.
Have you had your non-Asian friend like really hate something? They were like, oh hell no, like my tofu thing.
Yeah.
Because I just, or like sushi, I get so upset when people don't like sushi.
Yeah, people are like, oh, I only like cooked sushi. I'm like, what the fuck, cooked sushi?
What the fuck is cooked sushi?
I only like cooked sushi.
There's no such thing as.
And you don't like sushi.
Yeah, you just like cooked food, nigga, wrapped with rice. Right. So fuck, you can get a fucking rice burrito anywhere. Like, it's not the same. But no, like. Speaking of which, sushi burritos, the shit. I just want you to know.
Oh, they are the shit.
Oh my God.
There was a place close to my job. I used to hit them up.
I just want to make some.
At least once every 2 weeks.
Oh my God. The food is interesting though, for real. I also feel like the spicy stuff people don't like a lot. Like, yeah. I don't know why. It's so weird to me. Like, why? I guess it's if you only use salt and pepper, I guess everything else is super spicy.
What's crazy? One of my old bosses, hi John. He said his family grew peppers. So that white boy was nuts. He could, or still is nuts. He could eat like those ghost chili.
Yeah, he could just eat them.
He eats that shit like.
Yeah, some people have like stomached it so well. That
he would get like chili vodka. I was like, chili vodka? That's
like vodka's already burning your throat half the time if it's not distilled 6 times. So let's add some chili.
Yeah. He had me, he had some ghost chili hot sauce. And he had me put it in some, I was eating some macaroni, so I just tried some. I put 2 drops. Fucked me up. And I eat spicy shit.
It fucked you up?
With spicy food.
Oh
fuck me up.
no. You have higher spicy tolerance than I do, I think so.
Yeah, I eat peppers. I eat serrano peppers with a meal, just as a side with my meal.
That's why because I like my spicy stuff. I like the spicy pickled stuff in between.
Spicy pickle stuff is good.
Like banana peppers and chicharroncinos or whatever, pepperoncinos, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those aren't even that spicy to me.
Those are not. The banana pepper's a little bit more. And then I absolutely love like sriracha sauce and gochujang, the spicy one. And yes, and then
I was eating it on this
I definitely have Tabasco and Louisiana sauce because those are two different things. Don't get it twisted.
We gotta get Crystal.
Is that good?
Crystal Louisiana hot sauce. Yeah.
Oh, that's the one I have. That's the only one to have. I don't know what you're talking. There are no other Louisiana hot sauces.
There are no other ones. Crystal only. It's the best one.
Like, and why is it so cheap still? Like,
oh no. But certain places you can't find Crystal. When I moved to Florida, couldn't find Crystal for nothing.
No. Was there a whole bunch of Hispanic hot sauces? I feel like there's a lot more Puerto Rican, Hispanic influence.
No, because I didn't live in that part of Florida. I lived in redneck Florida.
Oh, so just black pepper, white pepper, mixed pepper?
Yeah. But it's crazy because I lived in North Florida, like redneck Florida. Louisiana was only, like New Orleans was literally less than 3 hours
I know, but when you know how it is out here, when you're out of the city, you're out of the city a lot of times. It's
true.
Kind of crazy. That's crazy. And then, the Japanese people have that layu, the pepper oil. I love that in my noodles.
Oh, that's my favorite shit, layu. I use that on everything.
So good.
When I'm cooking Asian food.
Yeah.
You want to add some spicy cake? Put some layu in there.
I kind of miss like being able to do that on a whim because I have a 4-year-old that can't eat all that spicy shit.
Oh yeah.
It makes me sad.
Hey, you just got to give it to her.
No, we've been working it. She's been building up her spicy tongue. So it's happening here soon. Hopefully. Oh my God, I don't even know how long we've been talking. My timer didn't go off because I didn't
supposed to wrap up. I forgot.
We're probably supposed to wrap up here soon. No. Oh, one last thing. Let's talk about this. One last thing. The Yakuza. And how different it is from there and here. Like,
my first memory of ever seeing them was out Gate 2. Not Gate 2, but the one on the right. The one on the left was BC Street. But there was another one on the right. What street is that? Like nobody would ever went down.
Fuck, I don't remember the name. Because we didn't get to go down it.
Yeah.
That street. Opposite of BC.
Street. Yeah.
BC Street, aka Park Avenue.
Park Avenue. I forgot about that.
Yeah, BC Street is the old-timey name from back in the day. So if you have older parents, that's what you called it. But if you were younger, like military or younger parents, they called it the new name, Park Avenue. That's what it was. It's BC Street to me. Like
BC Street to me too. Always BC Street. No, but it was that one street on the right. There was like all these parlors and bars.
Yes.
No Americans were ever over there. No. And it was all men in suits, and they all had fucking BMWs.
Yep.
All of them.
Yep. There's your neighborhood Yakuza. And in Japan, people still don't say actual Yakuza, the word. They take their finger and nuzzle it against their cheek because that was the stereotypical cut that people would draw Yakuza people with or animation with, is they would have a knife cut on their face. So when people refer to Yakuza, instead of using the word Yakuza, they would like go like this across their face with their finger. Like, it's so weird. I've seen my grandmother do it too and shit like that. When she would talk about him, she wouldn't even say it in conversation. She'd be like, cause he's this. That's why you don't want to talk to him. He's like this. And she would swipe her finger over her cheek. I'm like, what the fuck is this? But, and you guys, if you were wondering, like, I don't know if you were wondering, but if you go to Japan and if you have a lot of tattoos, like, I mean, now they're a little more open to foreigners having them, but back in the day it was a big deal because the only people in Japan that had tattoos still to this day pretty much is the Yakuza people. Like, there's a little more trendier stuff going on now because the younger generation is kind of dismantling that thought process. But if you have tattoos, a lot of local, like the baths we were talking about, the public baths, if you have a tattoo, they won't let you in. Like, at all. You know what I'm saying?
For those of you that don't know, Yakuza is the mafia.
Oh yeah, sorry. I should have
The
probably.
mob.
I'd be assuming sometimes, but it's really weird. My dad was friends with one next door when I was really little. My mom would be like, "What are you doing?" Yeah, he was like, they were like our neighbors, one of their little families. I didn't even know about it. I was too young. Didn't know. Like, my dad would just be talking to them and shit. My mom used to tell me about it. But like, the thing is, the old school Yakuza people didn't bother people too much. Like, unless you were like part and involved in all of that lifestyle, like it really wasn't a big deal. Or unless you maybe witnessed something you shouldn't have, I guess. But
yeah,
I don't know. Yakuza was a weird one. Did you ever watch those Yakuza movies they had? The Lady Yakuza one?
What were those about?
You should. I need to go find the title. Those were seriously really good. Seriously good. She was like the head Yakuza person in every fucking movie. Like,
what's the name of those?
I can't remember. I don't remember. I gotta look it up. But for real, I don't know. I feel like I missed a whole bunch of stuff too. Like that we could compare Japan to the US and Asia to the US. Did we hit everything? Oh, last thing, music.
Yeah.
Music was the other one. So here's the thing. I feel like J-pop is one thing, but then J-hip hop, I feel like the whole, I don't know. How do you feel about that, like the K-pop and stuff? Because obviously they call it K-pop, J-pop, but they are obviously doing hip-hop, R&B, or rock, and it's just a genre of pop in Japan and in like Korea or China and stuff. It's weird, right? Like,
what, the fact that they call it K?
Yeah, because it's just pop in over there. Although I think some of the,
I guess to hear it's like we understand the history of where the genres of music came from, so we see it in a different light. To them, it's just popular music. All of it is popular to them.
It's just popular music. That's what it is.
It's all popular to them. That's what it is.
It's so weird,
regardless of what the actual genre is. Like,
in Japan, a lot of people a lot of people just listen to like all of the top 40 shit or top 100. Like, they're not so genred up like they are here as much. I mean, there are lots of people, but I feel like the majority listen to top 40. It's weird, right? I think it's weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
I don't know. But anyway, I really need to wrap it up because I'm about to fall asleep here soon. It's 1:00. What happened?
It's 1?
It's 1:00 here.
Oh, it's 11 here. Yeah.
11 there. I need to eat still and stuff. I'm so glad I made the bentos already. That's another thing. Why don't people make bentos here?
I don't know.
Like real food bentos.
Real food bentos.
I've seen the meal preps. I get it. But I mean, like, just for the kids. Like real.
No, they'd rather throw a fucking Lunchable at them. You know what? I think at the same time too, when I would be at like Nahanishi or whatever on those days, they didn't have cafeterias.
No, Japanese schools don't.
That's why, right?
Well, no, because so in Japan, all the way to I think it's elementary school, like you get food from the school, they provide it, but you eat it in the classroom anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And so when you get older, they abolish all of that, and then your parents just have to provide you for lunch.
Right.
And that's
that's why it's more of a cultural thing. Like,
I guess
you get a bento, you prepare a bento for yourself because that's something that you have to do.
It's so weird.
If you want to eat at school, or you walk your ass to 7-Eleven.
Well, you can. Some of the schools are a lot more lenient now than they used to be back in the day. So there's a lot of like convenience stores around schools now, especially high schools and middle schools now. But it's just weird. But you know what? It's like the meme I saw the other day where they were talking about how there was a tragic day in every Asian, Blasian, mixed Asian kid or full Asian kid's life story. If you go to Americanized or Westernized schools, there was one day where you told your parents that you didn't want to take bentos and lunches anymore. It's all Asians, I'm telling you. And that was like great for you, but it was tragic for your parents. Do you realize that?
Was that a thing for them? Like for your parents?
Yeah, it's got to be. Because I was like, me and my brother both did it. We were like, can we just take money instead? Because at some point it wasn't that we didn't like my mom's food, because it's fucking delicious, okay? it was that we got tired of the comments around us when we would open a box of curry or open a box of yakitori, and they're like, "What's this? What's that? Kimchi? What's that smell? What are you eating? Is that fish? Ooh, does it still have a head on it? Blah 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 blah. Looks spicy." Like, yeah, Karen, you can't eat this. Just like, listen, Sandy, go away. Like, you know what I'm saying? And instead of apples, you always had mangoes and kiwis and strawberries. And then you had those miniature spice limon things too. Like the little ones. None of the kids had it. It's for your fruit. The little tahine and stuff.
Oh, like a tahine.
Yeah. The little ones. I like the lemon ones, lemon lime ones. Like,
I used to do this shit.
You know what I'm saying?
That's one thing I do miss, the mangoes, like the fresh mangoes, like a fresh one.
Yeah. Yeah, because you could go to people's backyards and just, nobody would ever know. Just eat it walking down the street. Like my next door neighbor had like biwa. I guess it's like a kind of like an apricot. And it would like part of the branch would grow into my grandmother's house. So we would like pick them and eat them. So good. But I mean, it's not like
my mom just got a shikwasa tree.
Where did she get a shikwasa tree? By the way, if you don't know what that is a citrus in Asia. We call it shikwasa.
Was it shikwasa? What is a shikwasa in English? Let me see.
I can't remember. I know there's a name for it in Filipino too, because they use the same stuff for pancit.
Oh, that's what my mom said it was. Calamansi.
Thank you. Yep.
Calamansi. Yeah.
That still won't explain it to people who don't know what calamansi and shikwasa is.
It looks like a lime. It's green,
but
like
it's
a
like
lime,
really tiny. Darker. It's like this. It's like this big.
It's like a darker green.
Yeah, and it doesn't get bigger than like that. Really.
Yeah.
It's tiny.
And then when you cut it open, the flesh is more orangey than it is yellow.
It might be more. It's between a yellow and an orange, depending on the species you get. Like the Oki ones were more yellow. I think the Pinoy ones are a little bit more orangey, darker yellow maybe.
The Pinoy ones are definitely darker yellow. Yeah.
But it's in the same food group. Yeah, it's a calamansi. It's really good. You make juice out of it.
It's really good.
Make alcohol out of it, but they don't have it here.
The taste is like a lemon orange lime. It's like a mashup.
It is. It's really like a mash because there's like the sweet note to it, like an orange, but then it's sour like lemon and lime at the same time.
It's like a lemonade.
It is inside of a fruit already made.
And lemonade inside of a fruit is what it is.
How amazing! That's literally what shikwasa juice tastes like. Holy shit!
Yeah. But she found one somewhere, and she has that growing in her backyard right now.
I want one. Yeah. I mix all the shikwasa juice during the summer and put it with my sea salted cucumbers.
I go to Seafood City. Out here, it's a Filipino market, and I'll get a lot.
Yeah.
The whole case.
See, I'm telling you, I can't wait till I can go back to the seafood and Asian markets up here because I can't right now.
Did they close?
No, the whole capacity thing and like having to wait in line, and I can't do it.
Oh yeah.
I can't do it. I don't have the patience. I have to go to like 8 different stores. I'll just order that bitch somewhere. Like
the one by my house, they started you have to like get in a separate line for rice because they only let you buy one bag of rice, 150-pound bag at a time. Yeah.
Oh, to those of you who are listening, that 50-pound bag don't last the whole month. So
I bought a 50-pound bag.
It depends on how many people live with you, but mine is like a bag of rice. I try to stretch it now by mixing more westernized menus and stuff that doesn't require rice. But for a while, we were going through that bag every 3 to 4 weeks. Like, I couldn't do it anymore. Crazy. It gets expensive when you need that much rice. Because then I buy also the imported Japanese one, and then it's the half brown or brown rice. So, boy, that shit got real high real fast. And then the trip I have to take to go to the Asian store because they're way the fuck out there. I couldn't do it. But anyway, I know we keep trying to wrap it up, so we probably should because I don't know how many minutes we're at, and I don't want to edit a long-ass fucking thing. We may have over-talked it. But anyway, If you have listened to us thus far and enjoyed us, make sure you subscribe to your favorite podcast platform. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit the like button, comment below, and subscribe as well. I just wanted to announce again that we hit over 100 people subscribed to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much.
Yay.
We're at 1,400 on Instagram, and then I think right over 500 on Facebook right now. So I'm super excited because it has been like under a year that we've been doing this. You know what I'm saying? In the first few months, we only had 1 episode a week. Now we have 2 a week. So maybe we need to up it a little more. People are loving this shit from what I can see, and the people who love us give us love. So we appreciate you guys. We really do.
Yep.
Right. And I try to always get one of us will get back to your comments. We swear. Sometimes we just get bogged down with life and whatever, but we always try to keep in touch with y'all too. Maybe I should start doing more questions on Instagram. We got a lot of play with that. People was anxious. Everybody's bored. They got time right now. They got time.
Everybody got time.
So if you're
right
listening
now.
and you got time and you just came across us for the first time, there is a third person. She's just missing today. It's quieter today. What did I say? It's like Tabitha Brown right now. Brandi is gonna so shade me for all the things that I've said all night. Like again, if she's listening all the way to this end, congrats. That way we know that you were listening to your episodes when you weren't here. Checking in.
You're not here.
Checking in. We miss you. We miss you. Oh my God. But anyway, really. For real, have a good night. Stay blessed, stay safe, stay logical, and all that good stuff. We'll catch you next week. Peace out.
Next week, I'll have more fish.
Oh my God.